What do you think may be the fears of the federal government if they should allow Nnamdi Kanu to go?
The fear of the Igbo man. The primordial fear of the Igbo man that led to the pogrom, that led to the widespread lie, deadly lie of Igbo coup in 1966, and then that led to the genocide that gave the cover for the 3-year genocidal war. And even after the war, that primordial fear of the Igbo man still persists. We just have to tell ourselves the truth. The truth. We should. I'm asking my fellow Nigerians who are not Igbos, what is it about the Igbo man that you fear so much? That when we are even in power, when you are even holding the levers of the presidency, you still fear the Igbo man enough, sufficiently enough to put him in chains, to try to put him in jail and lock him away and throw away the key. Do you believe that to be the solution to your fears? Or do you take the other part, the other part of brotherhood and compatriot spirit, and embrace the Igbo man with all his good, the bad, and ugly, just as a human being that he is? We possess good qualities and bad qualities, all of us. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Nupe, whatever, white, black. So this singling out of an Igbo man in Nigeria as a separate entity to be treated in a certain discriminatory way. I've cited court rulings in that regard, including the one by the United Nations. So I'm not inventing anything. That thing has to go, or Nigeria will continue to have certain problems that it shouldn't have.
What is the current state of his health? Because we're not at the point...
of course he's not feeling well.
Judiciary set up a panel, and the panel said that they gave him a clean bill of health.
Well, that one, the jury is still out on that. There is a question as to whether the Nigerian Medical Association is the right body to certify him as being fit for trial or not. It's a legal question. And I think it's going to become judicial very soon, sooner than later. There's also a question as to whether they actually examined him after 26 September, when the judge made the order. Nigerian Medical Association never examined Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, to my knowledge. I was managing his health as a lawyer, writing letters, staying with him, being present when he was with doctors. After 26 September, Nigerian Medical Association never examined Mazen Nnamdi Kanu physically. They had an interaction with him sometime around 22nd or 23rd September on the invitation of the Attorney General of the Federation. That's a different ball game altogether. Different from when the court invites you by an order to examine the patient or the defendant, and you didn't. And you relied on some previous interaction that lacked any modicum of physical medical examination. So that again, the jury is still out on that, and it's going to be attended to in good time.
If another Free Nnamdi Kanu protest is called today, will you make yourself available?
I'll be the first to step forward. I lead from the front.
There are those who feel that the insurgency in the southeast was a creation or the making of Nnamdi Kanu. What's your take on that?
Well, a lot of both state and non-state actors latched on to that. Nnamdi Kanu couldn't have been in detention and begin an insurgency or insecurity. When you put a man in detention, he becomes powerless. So, but nature abhors a vacuum. I do believe, and I acknowledge the reality, that state and non-state actors stepped in and contrived this insecurity to rubbish Igbo land, to make Igbo land unsafe, to blame us for misfortunes they brought to us. Do you understand? You beat a child, you don't want him to cry. He cries, you beat him again. So, it's so wrong. But if everybody believes that Nnamdi Kanu's prolonged detention is directly related to the insecurity in the southeast. Why is the government not letting him go just to test the waters? Everybody is saying so. So you release him and see whether the insecurity continues. In that way, you separate the apples from the oranges.
Do you think that releasing him can guarantee peace in the southeast or end insurgency in the southeast?
He's an upstanding citizen of the southeast, and he has legions of followers in the millions. I think his voice will count. Even my small self, and you, Victor, if you rise today in a podium in Enugu and Oka and say, my people, please stop killing one another, stop kidnapping, those criminals amongst you, please stop. Maybe one person will listen to you. I think thousands will listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, just like they will listen to others. But as it is now, what voice in Igbo land do you think is stronger than he? He has a very strong voice. He has a way of, making things happen. He's a man of charisma and great influence. Like one of South leaders was saying that all South leaders need to come to the table to talk about how to advance Southeast and end insecurity. Why would that discussion exclude Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The fish rots from the head. And if you want to kill a hydra, you chop the head off. That's what they are trying to do to us. But God forbid, it won't happen.
There are those who have also dismissed the insinuation that releasing him will guarantee peace or return peace to the southeast.
Okay, is that the reason now to hold him forever? That shouldn't be the reason to hold him forever. What about for his own sake? For the sake of justice. He deserves justice. Just for himself. We shouldn't be using him as a bait or as a pawn in the chessboard of the insecurity in Southeast. It's not fair. Okay, we can answer the question and say, yes, the two are correlated, but it stops there. The next question is, what about the justice of the case? Prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu is unjust in the first place. Renditioning him is unjust in the first place. Addressing those things are personal to him. And they can also extrapolate to become personal to you and I. Because if we allow government to rendition someone and subject him to trial for touting self-determination, it might be Nnamdi Kanu today, tomorrow it might be Victor, myself, Aloy, or another individual. Okay? So the justice of the case demands that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu regains his freedom without further let or hindrance.
Southeast leaders, business leaders, political leaders, do you think they are better placed to lead the change in the Southeast as against the direction or the way Nnamdi Kanu's followers are going?
Well, I think we need a holistic approach. The civil society in Southeast includes IPOB. They have followers, they are in the millions. Okay? The Chinese will tell you that Christians will talk about the kingdom of heaven and the last feast. That feast probably will be prepared by the Chinese because they cook pretty well. So even though that they are heathens and atheists, they will be there at the kingdom, cooking at the kitchen and partaking in the final feast. So IPOB numbers in the millions of members and followers and sympathizers. So for any discussion of how to move Southeast forward, I think there has to be a consideration that they be brought to the table. And how best can you bring him to the table than bringing their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to the table?